Well, hello there. You look like a pretty cool individual, but you know what would make you a lot cooler? A pair of Vortex binos. You want a pair? I'll make it easy for you. We'll do a giveaway. If you like, comment, and subscribe on this video and all of our other videos, we're gonna give a pair away. So all you gotta do is be subscribed, like and comment on the videos, and you're entered to win. We'll be giving away a pair of Vortex binoculars soon, and hopefully you're the winner. Good luck, guys. How to kill a buck or your target buck on a small property. Man, there's a lot of small property owners out there. I've killed bucks on 5 acres, and I'm talking about like good deer, 140. I've had 150s, 160s, 170s on the right piece of tiny acreage, 5 acres, 40 acres or less. Guys, it can be done. It's got to be done the right way, but it can be done. But before we get into that stuff, a couple housekeeping notes. We are booking clients right now. If you want to get on the schedule, we travel anywhere from South Dakota, Ohio, down to Tennessee, and everywhere in between. Want to learn more about food plots, how to plant, what to plant, when to plant, timber stand improvement, how to make money on your property, how to pull bucks off your neighbor's property. We will help you with that. Full day visits, multiple day visits. We do all that stuff. Number 2, you want some money off some optics? Go to eurooptic.com. European, same thing, Euro. Eurooptic.com. Use code WLMSVTX10 at checkout. That will get you some money off of some Vortex optics. And code WLM20 will get you money off of their apparel at vortexoptics.com. 2 different websites. So let's get into it. Small properties, guys. Whoo! There's a lot of different variables when it comes to, hunting small properties, and maybe you're looking for the right property. Maybe you have the small property. How do you get those bucks on your property? Well, if I had to give, and I'm going to probably give you guys like 3 tips here. So stay tuned for all 3 because they're going to get more important probably as time goes on or as I go through this list of things. But the first thing that I would recommend doing, let's say you have 5 to 40 acres, you can't overpressure that property, guys. I'm a big believer in, being aggressive, but there's a time and a place. If you don't have a reason to, you need to stay out of that property. So that 5-acre property, the thing that made it so special for me and allowed me to literally get opportunities on 150-inch deer on a yearly basis was the fact that I stayed out. Now, don't get me wrong, the habitat was there. It was in a transition area. It had all these other things going. It was the transition from food to bedding, closer to the bedding. Perfect scenario right there. And we can manipulate that, and we'll get to that. But the most important thing you can do is stay out of the property. Don't go walking in there to check trail cameras. You need to be using cellular cameras on small properties. There's no way around it. Use them as a tool, though. Don't bank, that there is or isn't deer off the property because you do or don't have trail cameras. Trail cameras don't catch everything. I've watched bucks on that property walk behind that camera, 150-inch deer. So use them as a tool, but drive around the block. Scope from a distance. Use binos, use a spotter scope to watch the field edges, things like that. But ultimately, just keep low pressure on the property. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is you have to build it. Okay, you got to build that property. Sometimes you got to build that property so that it's attractive, so that you can get daylight movement on it. So let's talk about food cover water for a second. If you own this property, you have permission on this property, and it's only 5-10 acres, make sure it has one of those variables, but hopefully one of those variables that's what I rank number 1. At least have food or cover. But if you only get one choice because the property's so small you can't do a little bit of everything, have the cover there. The perk to cover is it has obviously nutritional value from a browse standpoint. If you have cover, it's cover, so it's obviously has cover for the deer. And then there's obviously there's also water. The opportunity to basically have water consumption through the natural browse of these plants, which is how deer get most of their water anyways, through natural browse. So you got to build the habitat. So how do you do that? Through burning. Before that, probably doing timber stand improvement, things like that. So make sure that you guys are building the habitat prior to that. The last thing that is super important, guys, it's kind of almost against what I started this list off with, but don't be afraid to strike when the iron's hot, okay? Get aggressive when it's time to get aggressive. Stay out until then, until you have some sort of intel, or maybe it's the right time of year, or You know, maybe you pay attention to cold fronts, things like that. Use the element of surprise, get in there and strike when the iron's hot, because when that buck shows up, it's a small property at the end of the day. And thankfully for me, on that property that was small, the deer would hang right in there. I mean, I had some of those bucks who were 150 plus inch bucks that would spend time on that, you know, a 10-acre circle for a significant amount of time in daylight. Like, that was the hub. But in a different scenario, you might have 2 or 3 days all year in which shooter bucks are in and around your property. It might be the rut. It might be early season based off of the food sources that are in the area. It might be late season based off the food sources that are in the area. Regardless, get in there, use the element of surprise. Don't overhunt your tree stands. Get in there and be aggressive. You might only have a couple days to do it on your 5, 10, 20 acre properties, guys. And if you just sit on your haunches the whole time and say, well, you know, it's not perfect, I can't go, you're probably going to miss a lot of opportunities. Sometimes you need to use some of those other variables, like playing thermals on low windage days and, you know, getting in there with the right axis and all these different things. But at the end of the day, when it's time to strike, it's time to strike. Go in there and kill those target bucks, whether that's a 2-year-old for you, whether that's a 6-year-old for you. All those deer can be killed on small properties, assuming that you take the right steps. There's a lot of things we could really get into to get in depth, but those are the broad spectrum ideas that come to mind for me when it comes to having the ultimate property. If you guys have some other ideas, drop those in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Otherwise, make sure that you guys are liking, commenting, and subscribing on the videos. If you do that, you're entered in our giveaways. We're always giving stuff away. See you guys next video.